Hey everybody, welcome to episode 25. A couple of videos back, I talked about installing an auto reverser for the line that comes around the peninsula and would end up back on the main because that's essentially a loop that comes back on itself. And the one that goes into the yard will do the same thing. So I've got another PSX AR right here. And I'll be needing to order some parts to make jump ring J7, 3, and 4 easier so that it's better configured for my Digitrax system. But in the meantime, I'm installing this so I can get this line going. Then I've also been working on more of the programming for the west end of the yard and the turnouts there. Now that it's mounted with number 4 screws, my next step will be to cut that mainline track bus that's at the lower part of the video there and put that in there. Okay, now that I've got wire stripped and a little light on the subject, twist those wires together a little bit. Let's see. Oh, need to loosen that terminal just a hair. I don't know if you guys can actually see this. I'll have to review it in a minute. In case I didn't mention it before, I'm not a big fan of flat blade screwdrivers. Anyway. Blue on the side closest and white on the outside. DCC really doesn't matter, but I like to be consistent as long as you're not crossing a power block, which since this is an auto reverser, everything on it is gonna have its own zone, or it's gonna be on its own zone, so. And I give myself a lot of extra wire in this piece. I might end up trimming that back. We'll see. I'll work from the other side when I connect the feeders, which are these right here. Now that I've got that wired up, I just need to turn on the DCC system and see if I get any faults. Nothing there, so let's see. Perfect. Let's see. We'll get these feeders connected up and you guys can join me for the always exciting part of the show. The let's vacuum the floor part where I clean up all the wire bits that fell. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to make you watch that. In the last video, I was working at the west end of Elma Yard on the LCC control for the turnouts. And this time, I'm doing a little pre-work, as it were, on the east end of the yard. The east end of the yard has a Barrett Hill toggle base on it. And I actually want this integrated with my layout command control system. So I'm going to replace that with a tower and a SMD8. And so I'm just getting the SMD8 set up so it's mounted up there against the back brace of the layout. And then I'm going to mount up the next tower LCC there as well so that I can have that ready to go. And I'll make up a couple of cables for the connection. I'm going to mount that tower right about here, I think. So put there and take my pencil and just mark a couple of the holes real quick. So there's that. There's that. I don't actually, need all 4 holes to mount this, I think, because I'm not putting this particular board under a lot of stress. But I could do that. Let's see. Pause for a second. Oh, here we go. Here's the drill. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Luckily, I just want some starter holes. I don't really have to get direct on. I just need to get it through that first layer of plywood. I've got my 4x3/8 screws here. Don't really need anything bigger than that for this process. And I'll just put that up there, and we should have it secured momentarily. And then oh, there we go. All right, so that looks pretty good. And I think I'll connect this up to the system and turn on the LCC and see what JMRI thinks about this tower. You may recall from the last video that the SMD8 needs power, and you'll notice over to the right there's this kind of funny looking terminal strip over there. That is going to provide power to that SMD8. It just happens to have already been there because I had the power for the Barrett Hill stuff there. Also, I made up a short, flat cable, ribbon cable to go from the tower LCC to the SMD. The Ethernet cable I was using over here for connection between the 2 tower LCCs was too short, so I swapped it for the yellow one that I was using elsewhere, and I found that it was too long. And I thought, well, I could buy another one. And then I remembered that, and you guys, if you watched all these videos, may remember that earlier I acquired a big long roll of Ethernet cable that didn't have, ends on it, of course. It was for making custom length cables. And then I got to thinking, well, maybe I can just custom make my own length. And so then I thought, okay, I need a tool, and I need the ends, and so on and so forth. Well, as it turns out, the tool that I bought for making my Digitrax Loconet cables happens to have an 8P opening in it. That is just what is necessary for Ethernet. So I ordered some ends, and I made my own cable. It's still a little on the long side. It's that blue one right over here. But I plan on cutting it down and making it a little shorter, and I'll use the shorter cable that I get from that for another project. I decided that it was time to do some more work on the gravel bar in the river. So I put down some Aleene's tacky glue, and I'm throwing some paving sand on top of it, and we'll see how it looks. I'm just using a 1/3 cup scoop here to get some unsifted paving sand out of the bag. And no, there's a consequence to my wanting to run trains so badly there, and that is that I couldn't get I can't take the bridge out now without taking up track. And I'm not going to do that. So I'll just take my finger and spread it underneath the bridge, and if I really hate it, I'll do something about it later. But usually I can make this work. Well, I shouldn't say usually because I've never done it this way before, but it's the first time for everything. Let's see. So far, I think I like it. Just gonna bring this gravel up to the edge, cupping my hand underneath it to take what spills off of the edge. I didn't have thought I might have a Ziploc container or something like that handy, or Rubbermaid, but turns out I don't. So, not gonna worry about it too much. And some of it is going on the floor. You guys probably heard that. But there you have it. I'll stop now and we'll see what it looks like in a few minutes. I'm gonna pause here, dumping the play sand or paving sand on here, and put down some scenic cement to help hold the stuff in place. Using some isopropyl alcohol and a pipette to just make sure that when the glue comes along, it's going to soak right into that stuff without pushing the gravel around. Time to go away for a bit and wait for this to dry. Since I now have a basic control system for the turnouts at the west end of the yard, I decided I wanted to show a little bit of switching over there. I thought it would be cool to watch this. So I put the phone in the tripod and set it up there, and I started recording. And a few minutes later, I realized that the video was going to be way longer than what I'd intended. What you see here is at double speed, and I had to turn down the volume because you hear me mumbling, and then you hear the locomotives running, and that's about what you get. Also, since this is a new yard, I find that I'm not yet good at switching it myself. And that watching a video where somebody pushes the wrong button several times while you don't see any action is probably not going to be all that fun. So at some point, after I have my skills refined a bit, I'll do a video that probably focuses on that completely. In the meantime, enjoy a little hyper speed switching, and thanks for watching episode number 25, and we'll catch you next time. Take care and enjoy those trains.